Composer aborts when errors happen while it's doing a Composer install. Remember, Composer install is a command that you would want to run on your project kind of on a regular basis. I think it's either that or Composer update. I'm not familiar with Composer yet enough to know. But what I do know is after your initial install of Symfony, if you get any errors while doing the install, you're going to want to fix those errors and then go back and run Composer install again. Because what happens is when Composer has an error, it ends up stopping what it was doing and it doesn't finish it. And that's why I had some problems with some missing bundles. Actually, what I was missing, I'll show you what I was missing. Alright, you see this folder here called Bundles? It's inside the web folder, which is inside the Symfony project. Remember, appdev and config.php, they use some CSS and maybe some JavaScript files. The way for config and appdev to get to those files, it looks for them in the bundles framework or the bundles Sensio distribution folders up here. So the problem that I was having because Composer install did not finish doing its job, it didn't finish setting up the bundles folder inside of web. I know that most of Composer's work happens in here in vendor. And apparently these links over here, right there, they are links to something in the vendor folder. Okay? So Composer never finished setting up my framework. So that's why when I would run config.php or appdev.php, I would end up with missing style sheets and the pages just look funny, okay? Therefore, to summarize what I just said, the missing bundles folder in the web folder was a result of Composer not finishing its install. And the reason that it didn't finish its install was because of that error which was related to Timezone. Remember it kept telling me I need to set the PHP any variable for the timezone? I'll show you which one it was talking about. Okay, I'm in PHP info. Right there, my PHP info.php. And then I'm going to go down here. Okay, date.timezone. Okay, it kept erroring out. Composer kept erroring out, saying, you need to set the date.timezone in your PHP any file, or else I'm not going to do anything for you, because you're not a nice person, okay? Well, I had gone and I set the values for date.timezone, and it still gave me that error and Composer would not finish the install, okay? And that was causing my problems with the bundles folder missing from the web folder, okay? And the style sheets in config.php and appdev.php, they weren't loading because this folder was not there and this link was not there and this link was not there. Those are symlinks. And it's all because of this timezone thing. It kept thinking that I didn't give date.timezone a value. So you may ask, how did you fix it, Sam? Okay, I'll show you how that fix came about. In vendor, in monologue, and inside monologue, notice vendor, monologue. And then inside src here, there's another monologue, except this one's capitalized. There is a script called logger.php. Now, right down here, somewhere near line 244, I believe. 248. This line right here. Okay, see what this line looks like now? I'll show you what it used to look like, because this is how it looks like after I changed it. I hard-coded my timezone. I hard-coded it in this file at line 248. And you may be thinking, well, Sam, you're a genius. How did you figure this out? Well, of course I Googled it. That gave me some clues. And there were also some other clues. When I tried to run Composer install again, it told me that the error was coming from this script called logger.php on line 248. And it gave me the function call that was causing the problem. The parameter for this dateTimezone function was some kind of weird, like PHP syntax with a colon and a question mark. It was kind of like a ternary operator thing, and one part of that ternary operator had an expression which was a function call related to the timezone. And basically what that section of code was doing was either it would yield the string UTC or it would yield the timezone based on the PHP ini, and it was using a function call to go get that time zone from my PHP ini. Well, apparently there's something wrong, or there was something wrong with that function call. It had some errors in it. The error was not something, it wasn't that I didn't set up my PHP ini. It was that function was not recognizing or not finding the setting that I set in PHP ini for my time zone. Okay? So, I'm not going to go and try to debug that function. So all I did was just hard code my time zone right here. Okay? That way, static time zone gets an object, which is a time zone object. I don't even know how the syntax works, okay? This is like advanced PHP. But apparently, since the word new is here, so there's some kind of object being created. And it's using as a parameter the time zone. Okay, so I gave it the correct time zone. I'll show you what this line used to look like, okay? Okay, I have a reference copy of Symfony right here. What do I mean by reference copy? It means that's a fresh install which I haven't modified at all. Okay, the one that I've modified is here, bus compa. Okay, so I'm going to open this, go to vendor, go to monologue, go to src, go to monologue, go to logger.php. I'm going to go to line 248. Okay, that's what line 248 used to look like. Okay, see the argument here? It had that question mark colon thing. And it would have assigned UTC, but otherwise it would have assigned the result of the function call date default time zone get. And apparently that is a funky function. Okay, there's something wrong going with it. Alright? So I replaced it with my time zone, this whole section right here. Okay, now after I fixed logger.php on line 248, I ran composer install on my project. And it ran without a hitch. And then I went and checked. I went in here, right here, and lo and behold, the bundles folder was there. That's what was missing. Okay? So that's the happy ending to my story. I mean, I was just about to give up using Symfony because of this. It wasn't making any sense. I kept, doing what it was asking me to do, and it would keep giving me errors, and then I would find out, that because Composer gave me those errors, it hadn't installed everything it was supposed to install, and then I had no idea how I was going to get those style sheets just so that my config.php would show up, looking halfway decent with some kind of, formatting in it. Okay? But all's well that ends well.